All right, welcome to Sunday Check-In. I'm Christina.
And I'm Joel.
The month of November is very special for us because this is the month where we got married. Our anniversary date is November 7th. So a couple videos ago, we recorded ourselves cracking the bottle that represents our 5th year of marriage, and we read the advice comments that came out of it. Today, what we want to do as the month of November wraps up, we wanted to ask a couple of our friends that have been married for a long time, that have some years under their belt, what advice would they give a newly married couple, or a couple who has a wedding date set and they're going to be married soon, or even people who eventually in time just want to be married? What is some advice that you would give them if you were to be asked, what advice would you give a newly married couple? So we are going to go through that advice that our friends have shared with us of what they would give a newly married couple. So the first one that I have on my list is continue to find work on yourself. If you don't, those issues will impact your marriage.
Yeah. One for me is honest communication is important. And it's interesting with this couple because they actually met 6 months and 1 day later got married, and 19 years later they're still together. So honest communication apparently is very important.
Build a strong foundation before having kids. And I know that is tough for some people. I was one of those people where you have kids coming into the marriage. So for that advice, I would say build a foundation, yes, before having kids. But if you're like someone like me who came in with a child already, I would say still build a solid foundation before adding more kids to that marriage.
Agreed. This one probably is going to be my favorite one out of all of these. It's fight the problem and not each other.
The next one, always remember and remind each other that you play for the same team.
Yeah, and that kind of echoes this one right here, which is don't lose sight of why you're together in the first place.
Communication is just not listening to your spouse, but making sure you hear what they are saying.
Make time for each other and be each other's advocate, which is also huge.
Enter a dispute with the intent of healing and overcoming, and not the intent to harm.
Yep. Being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness; it's a sign of trust, and that's something that I still have to work on even today.
Watch your actions and words when you're mad. You cannot take them back once you make up.
All right, communication is important. You have to be honest about what you want and need from your spouse. Don't expect them to just know from osmosis. You actually have to be able to communicate that information.
Make sure your marriage is what you two want it to be, not what somebody else's is, or what somebody else says it should be.
Let stuff go.
And the very last one that I have is continue to fall in love with each other.
I've got a couple more, but I'll just stick with just one. Relationships are definitely hard work. You didn't get married because it was going to be easy, even though your expectations might have been this fairy tale. But remember that even though it's not that fairy tale that you might have dreamed about or somebody told you, you should be able to get the benefits at the end are great. So remember that. Relationships are hard work.
Alrighty, final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that we can sum all of these up with just one common theme, and that is as long as an individual you're attempting and trying and growing daily, evolving as an individual, all of this stuff should become like second nature. The challenge that I see for most people is that there's a lack of growth in one area or another. So if you come into the marriage and in year one, you have an issue with your pride, like Joel. In year 2 and 3, if you still have an issue with pride, you haven't grown. If that's still a challenge in your relationship. So try your best to evolve into the best version of, of yourself every day. And if you can accomplish that, then a lot of these things that we read should, again, be second nature.
My final thought is piggybacking on what he's saying, yes, continue to grow and be willing to grow. Don't think that just because you came into it and you've been doing this for so many years that that's how it should stay. That's not true. You know, when you get with somebody, especially in a marriage, you're going to change just because you're going to adapt to the things that they are used to, and then you guys are going to have some things that you guys build together. So just be willing to change and understand that change isn't always bad. Change is sometimes good. So we want to leave you with one of our family kids. Was asked this question years ago: what is love and what is marriage? And so just from a kid's perspective, I want you to remember what love is and what marriage is. We'll see y'all next time.
Something you do when you really love someone, you choose to get married to them. And it's like a big celebration of you guys binding your families together. Love is something you give to another person that you really like, and they give it back to you if they like you too, and you guys just share